And a quick reminder, Newmont Ghana says there's no ongoing recruitment by anybody from Newmont. It's a scam. If anybody, any individual or group tells you they are giving you employment at Newmont Ghana, it's a scam. All vacancies at Newmont are advertised on the careers page of Newmont's website, jobs.newmont.com. So please be vigilant. Obia Basse Mining Company, a friend in Newmont, Obenye Juma Ohama Oboa. Should make cooking easy and fantastic. That's why Gino Pepe and Onion offers you a unique blend of tomatoes mixed with pepper and onions to make those delicious recipes come alive. No more wasting of time on blending or grinding any onions and pepper. You have all in one. Now, say, you can find Gino Pepe and Onion in any open market, retail shop. Fanifana Sunada.
Peace FM.
Ebium.
Peace FM.
Join Bako.
Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet Taki.
You want to meet Taki there, you try, you jubediano so Nana Akumia, your managing director, STC. As I always say, he has many former titles. Nana Mache.
Kwame Mejuso.
Boko there.
Yankupo Adaru. Kwame. Kwame Sefa Kain.
Kwame Sefa Kain. Kwame Sefa Kain.
Sefa.
Yeah. Sefa ya Kain. Sefa is ever.
That's how you mean, Nunia.
Inti.
Jebiako.
Oh, friend, me Sefa Mejuso. But it didn't dare Sefa.
Offer a big line.
On a free buy. On a free buy. Profile. A jar and a 2D. 80 majana 2
million. You will be mount.
Hey, Mitrinkwa.
But here we are. Hey,
hey, Nana, to hey, who they are no Nana, economy be any.
Oh, I did.
Nantia may be son, say, Marian Minister and Kalbeko Peduasinibi. Government hints of reviewing some of its flagship programs. Major relief to cushion Ghanaians. Good move, much ado about nothing. Former President John Mahama, Dr. Baumia Boot, nicely said the dollar has arrested Baumia. We are looking for him. Bank of Ghana tackles challenges, raises lending rates amongst others. Anope yene Dr. Richmond Tia Hino banking consultant Chinkomo. O chechi mu kwechiri say near economy na yene near Bank of Ghana be ya no ayeno. But Asemba Kokan says our economy we mudi ya manyo semwa. Say ya go boy border. Na we don't own our economy. Economy enye dia. Na it's about time say ebe sinkunya. Ghana for being full bre. Yen sinkunya ni entrance. Ni ya manyo sem ni free. Na ebetimi aboyin. Ewo economic difficulties on. Say dollar no speed walk on and na President Mahama ka say dollar na twa ba mi abutuma wa china to ho nana o se be
yo Kwame Medase mami shase mami chai minua professor Ajekum
Anansi Odina woda
Onya Nansi Anra
Anra ya Prof Utrinkwa Utrinkwa Afishapa
Utrinkwa
Afisi sena nkwa ni
awon be lunch na Dabena be lunch
anum de western for ye him so ya
Prof Afishapa biom ya dasi afin kometu ya hondimu ne nkwa afisi sena oda so eboayin ne unim de unyansa wa hoden ewe adwumam that's papa ne nyawaya man for the last 20 years or so. I mean sure papa the prophet any birthday I no pen silent on person you be bondede but prophet next year nyame ado ebe odede kakra
messi you
me check quickly send me sabeka ura ko jopon kruma sama ba ura nana komiaso I seen you kind about government flagship programs or see you no akusi boni senior opache ne wan kanesa or say 16 flagship programs ni na no ye be hwe na yetintimu na emu ayedin na mum hu ansa manfo akoka se yes or say free SHS will be reviewed nti minim se eno yazaka na me benkwa ahoma no so tew na menkwaji nchechemu ansa na yede enkomo no atua so kojo ma chibiomo
Mejo so chairman na pachetin
boko na oswe
nyame adumo
kojo yeso si free SHS ye be review no so ye be twemu se ye be endem
kama mini ni se no anopa me no awo we bi de get ni sa
mantenesa
sana wote no
mantenesa but bebia unifini yeso ko kasa o City FM nti bia osesan wa no wo
bi kama mami kan dia me kan wo City FM en komoni na di dina de wani dina nsesan Centremuno na Obi NTSA yes Centre no someone I can say a bunny a budget Omampenia my instructions there. I will say a boy who more than said deficit of 7.4 near maintain. The budget be a was a this would be a focus I'm usually expenditure cut. Expenditure cuts be a was a year about 7.4. If it is so a bit form, in your train yard or it is so bit form. Nina a fair examine. In fact, so kind of photocast and my minutes cacao mash and photocast and say all the 16 flagship programs are up to be looked at. The president has directed that the flagship programs should be protected and fully implemented to ensure that the impact is achieved. However, he wants it done within the constraints of item number 2, which is the fiscal framework we are working with. If based on the caps that we are working with, we will have to rescope a particular flagship program. We will do it and see how much we can achieve. All the 16 are up for discussion. None is off limits. Only that the president has laid down the red line that we will not compromise on the fiscal consolidation agenda because our real problem over the year has been a year-on-year deficit going out of hand. Word by word, and only. And the Senior American will feed you to the Sana Macan baby. So I'm making sure it's a deficit 7.4 no, and one indigenous one. Then, budget I have which is so on one office basic form, including programs. Nino, you be sure. Yeah, budget no be a no, you be na and only come my head.
Interbani send a FDS who say free SHS between.
Chairman, as you might say, I make us a who can be so differently. And I may say, young Fadi and Ipanaka, be a tape and answer for video and answer Fadi and Ipanaka, and headline. Because story now, what kind of headline now say free SHS to be reviewed upon Chroma, but who cost story anymore? On quote me that I'm a free SHS to be reviewed. You quote me at the Amaka one of pay the budgets of all these programs from ministry, department, agencies, or Mampenia, so you want Casa Babisi for me. Everybody name, baby, I expenditure cut a bay, you know. Everybody is our expenditure cut, and I'm Mampenia, everybody those cuts that are necessary to ensure say they achieve 7.4. And you'll move behind the Manusi Bonnet.
Okay. Kojo, me that's in Chichim. And count home Kojo upon Chroma and Motenin Kano or Fosi Ayrebi Mashe Bedreni Sansoye, Minister for Information and Minister of Information. Nana Usiebe expenditure cuts in your bro friend Kokrokoo si.
Kwame
Medasi.
Topics here now kind. Now President Mahama or also Akebi. Mami shasi free of all.
Oh, honey, ode.
Oh, na shasi ya. Obetia senasi ye.
Mate.
So was your say by baby Obiachi Baumia.
I see dollar na chi. Vice President Baumia said, Dr. Baumia can say, "Wa local dollar the kina my GP." 80. In fact,
say Baumia money acheno.
I see dollar na chin. Must say you hear Baumia. You shouldn't be bia you no.
Me jidi say enjebia. Ira Baumia. Obemani lectures no be na obano obemani lectures no matis obeko Cape Coast University and the next 2 weeks or so me bompa say even before I don't know Quran obeba bekasa and Baumia own journey ko baby owa ha ono still oye head of the economic management team the president Mahama ohwehwe no obehun on friend and on sending a WhatsApp. But money moy. Na yenua President Mahama. Ya kan economy no and says nka okebi.
I don't know.
Ona say na record ho. On ma obi a yenim ni record. Enkasa. Anakwa me boa. O no record ho. Wow. Enti obana bidwa nu me na a. Ye be hwe wo record. Openyi yase kwatre kwase obema o intuma tie anything now record as president as vice president and president for 8 years. Any as I record no. And that record no was rejected by the people of Ghana by the highest defeat of an incumbent president in Africa. That is President Mahama's record.
But Musumo can't and by and say, maybe an Indian. And
maybe so. Nipa no Bazor Bemayan to Mano. Yenti or Nidin. Yen sure on the record. Say Bia Nanka. Nipa no ye man no chance se onye bida. No banu dwane numua. Is ya Bia obetimi ayebi. Wow. Nanya wa yama chance for 8 years as vice president and head of the economic management team, and also as president. Record was 2016 elections results. Ghana for a 2-tier record by the biggest defeat. What the African president, sitting president, will lose elections by almost 1 million votes there. Kwame. And that is President Mahama's record. In this or Bekebia onya botre. If you say no so.
Ain't on to me Kentia.
Oze.
On to me Casentia. Is any say ne record in ye.
Oh,
Ebia says
Nasa and the president cries in the memoir. Anamba. Hey, it is all because in the memoir. No be a but so be could be Joe and so na bit my bibia. And the engine too. You say your mouth chance nida.
Ebia.
Do you remember that die?
Well, maybe on that I'll any homework.
I'll go homework. 8 years no one your homework. Well, because record no down. It is all come about employment. Say employment as say a ban went to me and yes in 5 mambo I can say youth. Mebunu ejuma ho nsem o se atete say now say napko no enye but to the fan percent napko no en course and say kwa 8 years now president mama be the vice president and the president there be no buy ya it is a napko there be share no the buy for youth employment
but na kwemu say wanwe nation
na me chese o de en fan say anwe nisen dear ben she share na president mama de buy in the 8 years na it is a napko at least napko 100,000 youth have been given employment. The only problem is how to migrate them now accept anambwa. But for 4 years or 3 years 100,000 young people were getting a salary, but more importantly omunya experience anakwa mebwa sa experience and so mo fenipa o Peace FM ha na obi ba no free napco no enya 3 years experience in broadcasting and media say ebeboa mo nyejuma o Peace FM yeah e share ben na president mama de ba ya ebeto napco in all the 8 years none, not even one day. No beto ye po National Youth Employment Program o beto ye eno ya yama na ewo ho dem na medano asa na omoba oba no bedane no ntu jida so okay edifa suma omano hwiri sika ene ye ka corruption wo Ghana ha untimi nyi jida emfri sa no bedan in hwehwe na ewo ho de the National Youth Employment Program no beto ye 2009 oba no bedane no ntu jida ena sa jida no be ye e kwan a ye de hwere o mani sika millions and millions of cedis obeka election year 2012 jida no kwa sika de fa ho about 200 million me ho total budget for that year na 20 million kwa be so kai anche wo se ka cha na because be Ghana for refi e hihye po e de ato for mambu juma kra no ba obe said obetane no jida na confirm na way say no poto no obiaba o say me na mpese me chere nipa broadcasting na your man is for 15,000 near Triano Ninya de Amano, no I could train 200 B. We are no aba. The same person was me training in dressmaking. Near me training 20,000. Near terms camano. No, just at time. Yehuni ya woman under President Mahama. A Juma and she share near there to her for Juma. Oba obese. Well, the minister a NDC time minister first minister for employment. Yebisa no say employment net is saying. I'll say schools not doors, universities not doors. That was his answer. The schools not doors. And they say you try universities you may be a close to be down. My employment now go for. This is NDC Minister for Employment.
Why I mean Kai?
Oh, the very first no be see me my name would immediately. No, or your MP or Krobo area, baby. Now be kaya ono ani presidential advisor on employment. President Mahama na advisor on employment. You be say no say she share it say. Or say you ubet me akọ cracky stones. So okay, kwame osre. When you are kayo, it is our banana super cell kebia. Maybe jawenum because this is your record. Metizo kaso education at Pamsam. How can President Mahama how can he speak like that? Education. Now, why share results? Let me opinion. The first batch of free SHS or results nearby.
Yeah.
The best. On my call double track on results, the whole West Africa. Anamba. Inti so wo bibia de be boa fa be boa but my cassette na wo hono asay. The results are clear. I know pay me boa. The results are clear. The first batch of free SHS about 2020. And then the first batch of double track about 2021. Their results were the best in West Africa. The best students, the best aid, the best in India from double track from free SHS. So if say bia you bet ye ko yanim ni bet me adane no kwan bia be better. Fine. But don't come and condemn it. When the results show that this is the best. Wow. Now Obeka Sidi ni wanse President Mahama. Now Orefi 20 ni refi ayen kai no 2014 after you say one kasa wo sika wo bank wo cedi wo dollar wo banka ye ma kwa ma wonko yi kwa me so kai 2014 ya this is President Mahama's record cedi no bo form ma after you say one kasa wo sika wo one kasa wo $200 bia ma kwa ma wonko yi 2014 ya under President Mahama now be kind so say yes shall say ye too fang oil ewo kroma 2010 between 2010 and 2016 na President Mahama be free so fang nkwa sky nya $3.2 billion and on 2014 after wa 200 billion amount nko yi any the call IMF 2015 and this is your record enti me dwa wanu o adwentre bi no so kwame so asakra na bibia wa ne homework o de fa adwentre no bra ma me dwa wanu because o record no kwatri kwase obe mount ma tie ni din enti on hwe ne record na so our contribution bia oye body president da he beti na supem but so baso obno ba bi dwa na num so no betimi ai bibia e be kwa hwe ne record na se na yenya kan from President Akufo-Addo to Hwan. Yenya aje atum say emre na ye won say e fa no Ghana economy no edi. Ofa ye bonife no macro economy na fa no inflation and the inflation number 15%. Exchange rate cedi no sena dollar ni bo na friend exchange rate. They say ID cedi na a week. We share deficit and also acquire a problem. It's an MAP so T2 and COVID. Of course, until kasa ban MPP abana ABB are correct. But the year beja tum say COVID no ede ahokyere sronko aba ewiase nya. The whole world. Enya Ghana kwa. Well, and now you can say, UT international reports effort the global economy, become global economy, the world economy. Report to be a ubeti, say whether in Europe, UK, France, Germany, America. Omunya the economy no a hunchres runko aba economy no because of COVID. So Ghana had the oka yes you there be anya COVID. Ye anya COVID e akufado e na on born homodin. Udrin ho amtiase. E wi ase nya international reports e ma sena economy no e wi ase nya ya omunya ka se COVID no de a hunchres runko aba. So Ghana de okoka yes there be anya COVID. Wow. Uhwe Kwame de adwuma wo yenti de bia utie international reports bi. Na me kan me boa. Utie international reports about the global economy. There be no mo faka ho in terms of COVID. Kwame, what I will catch me. Because we were adwuma de bia utie media.
Say what me a
oh say e din komo. I mean so a Bloomberg.
Yeah.
21st February 2022. Report to say Germany is going into second recession. Recession economy number 4. They had the first one and they were going into a second one. They were quoting the Bundesbank. The Bundesbank in the German central bank. This is Bloomberg. 21st February 2022. BBC 11 February 2022. See United States consumer prices rise at the fastest rate since 1982. Annual inflation in America is 7.5%, the highest since 1982. This is America. BBC 11 February 2022. Say America, and Niema Boa Pija, been seen that since 1982. This is America, United States of America. BBC no 31st January 2022. Talking about how the high cost of living is hitting Asia and the poor in Asia. BBC now 25th January 2022, quoting IMF, I say families in the United Kingdom will need help with energy bills as inflation soars. In the UK, BBC 19th January 2022 say surging food prices push United Kingdom inflation to a 30-year high, the highest since 1992. Nema Boa United Kingdom. And yet Minameka and yet Akufa Doneka. This international reports on the global economy. And yet Ghana Nkwa COVID no edi ahunchre srunkun aba. And then so no Ukraine ni Russia and Tokwe. And also ed abe say no kra. Well, nti eno chese abanu abana e bibia pepepe. No. But untimi nka about a Ghana economy no without COVID. Unim nyama aban ye COVID. Kwa mami kakakrancho.
Metie.
Adwane nko aban e de boa Ghana for 2.8 million hot meals for Ghanaians. Ewa Ghana just 2020. Tax exemptions here demand frontline staff, doctors, nurses, na kenkan. So all kinds of tax exemptions.
Okay.
And on 36.8 million abandoned for frontline staff, doctors and nurses. 10.1 million households in free water in Ghana here. Free water, 10.1 million. Mimi nyebi. 470,000 families have food packages. Ewa Ghana. 38,000 nurses were employed in 2020 for critical support. 38,000 extra. 4.78 million households in Ghana have free electricity. provided by the government. PPEs here you can protective clothing you can 11 million and a bank cry. So by your nurses and doctors with me. I share Ghana for because of COVID. Final year student JHS Omunya Yamobia Jani free in 2020. Workers, the teachers, so why nobody was laid off in this country. Nobody was laid off. Everybody was paid. 302,000 companies are Omejuma said because of COVID. Your loans through cabos na kenka to survive. 302,000 companies.
Ain't your honest kind of coy?
Inti, Mr. Say, just saying a bar, a buying so any or man so because of just COVID. These are some of the things. A lot of money. Look, a BCO is can be conta. There should be no problem. Nancy wouldn't say World Bank. Almost some bread a buying sika kakra. Almost some bread a buying there $60.6 million as additional COVID funding. After on my year, I'm quoting. Let me quote the report directly from Joy News, Joy Business. World Bank to give Ghana $60.6 million additional $60.6 million additional COVID funding following satisfactory audit of the use of the 435.8 million World Bank funding.
Satisfactory?
Satisfactory. I'm quoting directly from Joy Business Report.
That's it.
No, see, 305 million so far has been used out of the 435, leaving 130. Joy Business understands the audit did not raise any query on the use of the funds by Ghana. But, and say Ghana for you see an auditor, there should be no problem. Bank itself should make sure the audit takes place. Whether you can say parliament, it isn't as a parliament, you form a joint committee or something. Because our joint committee, it will be a NPP NDC. It can be the public accounts committee. The public accounts committee or parliament, chaired by a member of the NDC. The public accounts should constitute itself into a special budget committee and audit. I don't have a problem. But I'm just saying, say, World Bank, after auditing the expenses, is going to give Ghana an extra $60.6 million.
Nana question. Anipa Bibre Bisa. Skabi Bibre win na Ebi Pache said they don't feel it.
Ebinam there, but Kwame, Ebinam told me butcher Niema is here. Some account of that. I'm saying all these hot meals for 2.8 million people. And yes, this taxes here demand your waiver for doctors and 36. It's a lot of money. In fact, many countries could not do that for their citizens.
Ain't na economy ne do baby edun.
Say economy ne there. Mature say COVID need true. Say scare nya senka enye COVID. We could have used it for something else. We could have used it to support the city. And enye Ghana nkwa. Say Ghana nkwa poor, but it's the whole world. Who call a BBC, who call Bloomberg, who call Reuters, who call all of them. Look at the reports on the global economy. Whether in America, whether in Europe, Germany, France, UK, Asia, all the economies are suffering because of COVID. Nene of course, the government should do more. The government cannot even sit idle and cast a COVID intimate now. Now saying, they now treat me and buying Kokrokoo. Say Nema Ekosui, especially the Sidina. Na one day no so tip. A buying can say, and then to who sika wo $200 or banker, yeah, Mount. No. They say they see Ira John Mahama Bresso. Ubetie Yera Oponkuma Watre Shishaya Abain Babeye Efa COVID out of meeting Omkoye wo, a special meeting Omkoye wo, Piduasi. Nemo kind and say, Niamani be a buying a baby di juma, a baby be a border, a land borders.
Yeah.
A beboa. Minkwami company, small company, STC, border na ya tumu sky actually over 60 million cities.
Really?
Yeah, every month you lose 2.4, 2.5 million cities.
Yeah, okay, how the other day.
Yeah, because there were terminals were Abidjan, Ouagadougou, Lomé, and Cotonou. Sa business in Yase. Every sa business in my about 2.4, 2.5. Bosumi Bia. So for the 2 years now you have to buy them, all that money is gone. And this is just one company. And I'm sure there are several Ghanaian companies a lot of business. So I'm more the more products.
And with this way chocolate drink.
And I will call Benin and Kenka. And I don't know Bianumo.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I was shocked. Me call Benin some days, some about 2 years. More chocolate in the shops.
Wow.
Then you be a bodana. Ebema Jumanum ebie. Matrel STC. Ntebeboa. I buy me should be regimes in the next 2-3 weeks.
Ain't you be about the STC be Jan and Naso?
Ebeboa papa. Enya don't tell us to say Bank of Ghana, any Ministry of Finance, Edin share the bar. Ebe so cedi num. Ebenum say there by $2 billion be why you pump a bar.
But cost of borrowing, but cost room.
And near mana, and near my borna a cost room. Cassiano Gina oil no because petrol cost room, BBA cost room, transport cost room, transport cost room, BBA cost room, BBA cost room. And it says, $2 billion ya can say Bank of Ghana by announcement, neighbor subsidy no more. For a big relief because a lot of the Nyema bona koso gidi Ghana has say to do an engine dollar na ne bona koso na sidna na ho de tofo
and Ghana so sade koso remba from biomo
na ya pa
ade koso remba from biomo
but at least send a koso so betwa enti ya ware shame ya bompa is san hihye ebedimu announcement no beba send a finance minister catcher was san catcher say deficit no president the na BC form says our deficit no chase sika ye di yade ye ni says cap ye be holding at 7.4%.
Yeah.
On men cost ro and also by bema no boni friend no macro economy no na fundamentals no be positive kakra after you say finance any Ministry of Energy so edin share ba e be hwe fuel ni board and inflation ti me wa regime in the next 2-3 weeks no share papa beba ebeboa is better than time we see President Mahama Bresso because that time you see the new tough from grid no they buy and say openya jeku na wa $500 bi wa banka ye ma nkonku yiwa usika because ni ho tinye san hihye ni bi na di be we ya ekope ye sika 2 billion ni dey ba be so
but 2 billion ye say ebusion
there be our reserves Ghana Kasa year reserves here war it's about 11 billion.
There is a swat number 5.9.
I don't know what is that.
And not the governor. Sika ye de me money near the so yasne near dear. They say your 4.1 on bro from can import cover. 4.1 months of import cover.
And a 4.1 is about 11 billion.
Before that, there was so since.
That's what you're buying.
I start number 5.9.
So, you move 2 billion. Yeah, they are subsidy.
Now, say, you 2 billion is subsidy. Now, say, subsidy. Now, Kotoboka. Now, the Kotoboka. Kotoboka.
I don't even pie boy.
Oh, we didn't pie boy now. Open your cum so same pie be our woman yamia hano. I so hanya me. I said to say, baby, you're no engineer do now. I started bomb pie say, or person a pilot.
I say na so but when you do na so started pilot school.
I'm not a pilot school.
Say on the not in pilot teacher.
Obejani University no. I pilot or the Koyajuma Bay.
Well, not just I don't know person of the airport.
So pilot
only man no can check na. I say in Bomber me masters. And I'm saying I am because he's saying Kolan will be a kuta masters.
But experience I will
and I'll say Mimbra na me masters. Mimbra wicked na can come. Say me start some become in Bible teacher. Once. Enti wo dey ye adwuma pa no. Na fan Bible teacher. To them 2 billion in brand infant subsidy. Me fan Bible teacher na hwe na bisi. Enti aban end die. Me send information minister actually in the next 2-3 weeks you be a lot of measures are buying day bar border
in Pacho yes it's 9.54 billion Kwame point of correction
Kwame 5 no
Albert of Tantra Hills Albert my miss uncle check kibium Maxwell Kofi Jumasi Nana Kumia lives were saved simple. That is how can we spend the money. So if you want to see the fiscal evidence of the COVID expenditure, the answer is that lives were saved. Simple. Anyway,
na share back one buying see a day ba. Yenya ya jatum say. Your taxes are your toy tria wo memu ha. Isa. Say last week you did one come udemo ha. Say a fano tax to GDP. Just share yen GDP and Ghana GDP about 55 billion, 55 or 56 billion dollars. Tax now is only about 12%, 12.5%.
12.5
GDP. Osha Africa ha. E put a minimum share a Cote d'Ivoire ni Togo num bear 18%. Now Kwame po chair me po say Africa hankasa the average is about 25%. Inti say other African countries edge 25% of their GDP as tax. Now Ghana high end near 12. Yeah, we're cheery. We have a long way to go. Way NDC Bresso, they agreed. They said they will do it. It's almost to VAT. Almost buy them the talk to seconds. Second, they talk body and into Oyenyajato. And then a buy no say, yeah, fat at 2 and 2 seconds. And fight tour and go to condom, so it will be a family planning. Taxi family planning. So I go yeah, the tour beto e-levy so electronic business. Minya, but there is brilliant. Kwame, the electronic transaction business is one of the fastest growing business in this country. 2016. Electronic transactions, Momo, electronic transfers, near 80 billion cedis. Last year, 2021, now a move from 80 billion in 2016 to 950 billion cedis. The volume of electronic business going on in this country. And it shows, I mean, if a part of the economy is growing so well, you tax a little. Now, share absolute figures. So transfer 10,000. Kwame, 1.5% of 10,000.
And I know the mass about me.
Transfer even 100,000. Now, last time I catch you, say, we average. Say nipa bear 15 million ye betwe asa electronic levy as against sika ye benya say 6 billion 7 billion averagely no we try be 400 500 cities the whole year would divide this as 7 billion over the 15 million Ghanaians ye betwe levy it's about 500 cities average now the benefits to the Ghanaian economy. Kwame.
No.
Road roads or memuha. Bear 1.3 billion cities. Afibia. 80 million from tolls here to 2 million. 80 million cities plus 1.2 billion from the levy that petrol, so road fund levy. Including Yaboma, 1.2 plus another 80 million, just about 1.3 billion cedis. E-levies are 6 billion a day bay. See, the 2 billion road budget no one. You are looking at 3 billion, 3.5 billion cedis for roads. If your contractors are doing car. Now see Timipo, whatever say next year and this year, the scanning your contractors. Look at the effects, the multiplier effects on the economy. The banks here, contractors do car. Sika Ebabi group local banks. A nipa ombinye juma artisans, electricians, steel benders, carpenters, masons, plumbers, across the value chain.
In the road tolls, you came.
Say E-levy no urban.
I'm
E-levy and yet say Okokai yes Ghana for umpe. The only reason E-levy no buy and say yenya numbers no in parliament. Period. If we had the numbers in parliament, okay, pass E-levy December.
Now when him say money numbers are not more
oh, say you go so.
Because they say Makucha road tolls. I'm fashion Yamba Crank 80 million.
On the defend hindsight. Open your hands at the fence.
And compo. Vision 2020. Hindsight is always vision 2020.
But that time, if you say, oh, say, yeah, the E-levy back. No, the 6 billion back. I didn't know they Ghana for road tolls. So road tolls, you can't walk off out a odoko order.
Yeah, they him say hydrogen. But open your document no can say a bit that we numa and now to
and
now a num and so
Majiatum say hindsight. Open use actually say but unim.
Yeah.
Say E-levy ba na say yetimi de share back to make sure say Sikano will be used properly. Transparency, accountability. A buying should impress upon Ghanaians about how transparent and how accountable the spending will be. Nasi Yusus Kani year, Kwame. Now, Sanima ye kan nipani pia drincha by E-levy. Speculation. Say a bar any be who effective. So inti no because na E-levy na here for the with the member na yen operate where 3, 4, 5 months. Then we'll see the effects. If the effect will be negative, it will destroy the economy or not. And then there will be a Kenya just speculation. Time a NDC4. Only so to VAT to 2.5%, 2,000.
17.5.
No. Yeah, debates for parliament because they had the numbers. In terms of the buy, and say, now the equine is somebody fast so Monfember, MN's opposition for minority for a walk out 2013, 2014. But they sat there and passed it. And no question, they couldn't pay nurses, trainees. They couldn't pay teacher, trainees. They went to the IMF after 1 year and after taxing condoms and cutlass. Inti E-levy is the part of the economy that is growing fantastic. Uko IMF, if they look at the structure of the Ghanaian economy, I'll say, but one, your tax to GDP is low. Nipa ni pinchia to. And I share baby sikano efa. Electronic business. Look at the growth from 80 billion in 2016 to 950 billion in 2021. It immediately shows you where money can be taxed. And then 1.5 or and you BBA.
Poor communication is what has got to here, plus the fact that money numbers for parliament.
Communication is a cost.
Poor.
I mean, not saying finance.
We are communicator. Communication beats me, but you're poor and I rich, you're different.
Then you be poor.
There be a new wasem na make.
That's all communication.
Make about E-levy communication.
Then you be na menu ye CCA.
post facto rationalization away.
Enso atowie.
Enso atowie.
Ena omu na ankore.
Enso atowie no.
Abe no omu na ankore.
Ankore barrel tutum no. Afi now.
But say what bibi say Kwame Achia Batembu ye.
Yes, Achia bebu nyina.
Abebu nyina master no.
Na aban enkoso enchire Ghana for how transparent, how accountable it will be. In the next few weeks, Sena Opon Kruma Kanche, Finance Ministry, Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Energy, to control the deficit, to check fuel price increases and inflation. Say no papa. But me the mess cost stress say 11. IMF. They will give you $1 billion. And no cry back in 1 year. Ebeba in 3 years. 330 million afibia. And no so nobody or share eba betoso. They will say go and increase your taxes. Go and increase your taxes. That's what they will tell you. And I didn't think IMF a chair way. Wow, says
recruitment so.
But way. Free SH free SH. I mean, of course, there can be reforms. Free SHC, Nipani Pia can say, Obiti say, me, na me ba secondary school. Why? Oba a primary school or culture 4,000 cities. Now, cost secondary school at 2,000 cities now say no own team in Tria. And so Nipani P even if you get 40,000 people like me and Kwame and Openya Jekum who can pay 2,000 for Yema. It's a lot of money. The principle of Sika not being a barrier to education is perfect. But enyo bia na sa barrier no if faces a barrier. Inti se nipa ni ebe 40,000 po na sa barrier no emphasize let them pay ebe boa. And then ma bi kitin bi wa mfesa ban ya ebe boa no so ma nipa na ya confident. But na me chance ko IMF we nim nema on. So and when we so scan here dey ma 1 billion. Yes say dey chow po dey ase den kenya hwe. Say na akọ no odi wa tem na o che o scan na ga be fansa. Eye besia Ghana foya na betria. So what is the point? What is the point? Say we call no IMF a boss to throw no asan ma obisia. A ba betria. I don't know why unyi to na mfentria mfenhwe. Enu kwa dignity wom. Uhu IMF ni na obehwe ni mo so behwe we ni no wapa. We you call Bob Bisan uhu na na say we don say gu echi na boko.
Yes amasa.
Yes amasa. We na Ghana ya hwehwe. Wa nti e pa Ghana fo achew. Na aban so no on share and the person say me could share to ya na man for be bia na binum da koya kesesem a major fear of everybody,
but a reality for some people
for everybody.
Optics no
I fear for everybody including myself.
Hey wanso
are they including myself inti every government so ye niema bema dipana regime say ye twa to a ye be hu faso. This is what the government should focus on doing. The share bema transparency and accountability aba. Na sikano ye timi pass levy or parliament na ba. Ye nya se ye tikroma. Se anko ya ye ti omemu ha. Anko ya
so tamu kan ho.
Empacho. Say uncle yeah. You be who we'll see it with our eyes. Say effect effect that a be Ghana for. We will see. And I say Jumanu say the be no say uncle yeah. You be who we time communication service eba.
Yeah.
Sometimes na communication a mobile phone. Na a boom. You time you minister. Now you say a Dutch for Bason Bema Kaya for support to be skill training equipment. That I'm more a social welfare.
Social welfare.
And you did. Organize a car if we bear 400. And you don't buy a hall, a civil service hall or ministry. Afi Dutch if we are bar, ya be meeting, ya chair the background of car if we the farming system in the north, how it's just one farming season. It should be and how they need a hard working or taking their destiny into their own hands. A team of traveler bank crime near Nami hard working young ladies. They were very impressed. But I'm first can number.
Oh,
actually, no one must I'm some buying. Car if one bear 450 and a good hall civil servants hall now. Here come myself. Obi a mobile phone. Obi a unity. They didn't satisfy the criteria of poor people. And it's that is you hear me pa.
What?
I'm telling you, Kwame, I was the minister at that time. Report on the call Mukrumon said this and I didn't say as I said, Kai from some ban to be a funny.
Or fun, and that's all about minister.
No.
Only about or the Abrofubisia.
To be at the last acquaintance fine. To be a kutani mobile phone.
A better than why poor.
Well, the mobile telephony economy. You see, we had the communication service tax kakreba. And that's a community.
My memoir.
Yes, a NPP4.
Now, me, you piece of me.
Kuni Pao, a fed the Casacra, Ghana for because I was able to.
I can't home.
Dear Tem free a coboga. Dear Tem, yes, the NPP4, dear. Muhua Mafe Casacran. What it's all better. You're penny be or say a talk tax on talk casa.
Speaker.
Well, into when but we all saw the value of communication service tax on impact on employment. Na kenka. Omokromo buy double. Inti the two parties no who said we are facing the same economy. Your performance has been and you be will be brag saying and be bad my way because we face the same structure. Yeah, we interest, you try your interest, you try salaries, you earmark funds. It's been the same, even with oil. It's been the same. John Mahama had $3 billion oil money for the first time in Ghana's history between 2010 and 2016. We are the IMF. So it's the same structure. The fundamental is yes, but that's a different story. But in the short term, Shishena binds your day finding this $2 billion to support the city, cutting the expenditure, coming to show up taxes kakra or fuel soon and then the e-levy should come because what is the point? Besian oko bonu wa na besen betria. In this all bit 22 more remono trace kana. Why don't you do it? I don't know kokbo besia. The only in say you be ma ratio mu say scanner betria. You be fa kwan papa so. Okay. E bia nsi toll ye trebe. And o drive wa e clear. First no timi gina odo wager. Oh. Wager. Timi gina 2 hours to pay 50 pesos. 50 petrol be spending inside 2 hours a bebro half gallon.
Go 5 cedis.
It's an option. But
Maintias yes Okuta Land Cruiser now tier 1 cedi.
Me put there toll I say at the bar at some point, but not cash. And the technology
electronic
abefo
it comes from the word abafufo.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Abefo
niema abe. Kwame what do last be sao a vintage a banana use.
Oh, dada no.
Ketwan. Say that's Susi Road.
Oh.
Now there no see wager. There should be electronic exchanger on congenal traffic move for 40 minutes.
There.
Doesn't make sense. In the tone they say a sandy back. But it should be electronic. Into we do na at deduct it.
At it now.
I mean, oko baby America will drive on a highway to meet you at toll there 5 times. And I'm yeah, on a 100-kilometer highway 5. But unye queue. Udu wa uche mwana adidot because what chia ena a be ball kind numa bibi wo tool wa a read to do ya not. Why be all?
Sticker.
Okay.
I said
this I'm hoping the Ministry of Roads and they are working on this and bring the tolls back. But I told na nipa could line move for 40 minutes.
It one city.
It 50 pesos there at time. You year no everywhere and one. Na 11 also no bomodia. Na yemfembra. Now the Ghana for bare 6 months near share.
Nana E-Levy Akomia Namutini cannot pay. Peace 104.3. In the meantime, if I'm Nasia Kessie, Emma Engineer IB Ama. On Sabah Diakwa engineer IB Ama and Sabah Diakwa no pay chia papa Asafo Mame Mary Nanaba Mensa, First Lady of PIWC Atomic, birthday wishes to you from your sweetheart Pastor Tony Mensah and the children, and also to you Mame Henewa Bediaku Puni of Fidelity Bank. Happy birthday Mame Henewa Bediaku Puni from your dad P, your mom Angie, your siblings Queen Ebrimpoma, as well as the Ejekome Hennes. They send you love and best wishes. And then also to Corporal Frank Asari of Zongo MTTD. Happy birthday, Corporal Frank Asari. Shouting out to my man Samson Kwame Nyamiche. Any Busha Hello FMH Munina. Papa Kwesin Shira Youngson, CSIR Basic Junior School Kumasi. Happy birthday, Papa Kwesin Shira Youngson. And Mrs. Mary Fijina Youngson Odro is 73. Best wishes to you from the entire family. And then Fayasi Mimbisa Nana Kumia. I'll say, going by Nana Kumia's argument, I would then say that Nanado and Dr. Baumia, who had never been president or vice before, were in no position to call John Mahama incompetent. Now that they have sat in the seat and felt the heat, and they are being accused of mismanagement, corruption, conflict of interest, family and friends, and interestingly, incompetence, do they now see how it rolls? Do they want us to believe or not to believe what we're hearing? Fire sends that one. And then, Dangote Cement. Dangote Cement, yes, you. Ghana, you. Etiasa.
What was your cement? Your gasem, your jata.
Your gasem, your jata. You're saying, especially Jatan who did it. Nia Manyon in film.
Now that Aman will be a baby.
Say Ibrahim Mahamadia.
On a second, Nagana for a tall Jatarum could be some say Ibrahim. Send no air good, not quality near good. People will buy. Oh, not they. Nagasem people before them.
There be. Nasa Gasem, you say a foreign, mostly foreign owned.
Na Sassia Mum say, Yenya beto Gasem ni Jata.
Made a Minyanka Jatano more.
Ghanaian A.
Minyanka Jatano more. Well, the $2 billion which the government is going to inject into the economy solve the problem. Let's find long-term solutions. Safu Kantanka Okanshin. And apparently Dr. Richmond Ituahinikasa, he said the same thing. Said short-term, yes, but long-term, I don't have a problem with the toll, but if I'm telling you that what goes on there, you not believe it. I am for electronic payments. Benis in a day and obey. Tell Nana Kumia there's something called death. I don't get it. So if the father of a student dies in the second year, what happens? You, Chairman General, do you want everything to be free in this country? It looks as if you are falling for opposition propaganda the way you speak and ask questions these days. Kwame Atta in Medina. Wonderful submission by Nana Kumia. The government should listen and act accordingly. But tell Nana Kumia some of their communicators are arrogant. Eugene Yakopepra sends that one. Well, here I am being accused. Anyway, I plead with the government to reduce the rate and also reconsider the suspension of road tolls. Bringing it back won't be bad. My humble advice to government, in fact, the wastage is too much. David Bequin Tete. Senya Brekum. Okay. Tell Nana Kumia his MPP government has done a lot and has a good story to tell. Unfortunately, they have failed woefully in the area of communication. The government must constitute a communication team to tell Ghanaians their success. Lawyer Victor Kusi in Jabing. Okay. Mpamcho, mo criticize former President Mahama. Feel free, but Munyi attend any film. And yes, as usual. man ping na cancel in a film when the quintessential communicator Nana Komia makes comments on issues, a merry listener like me will nod and listen to wisdom because the great professor is also in your studio. Kwesi Reynolds in Agona or Dubbing sent that one. Okay, I'm going to listen to comments from the great professor as well. Na yebenya sorry so. E11 Anakumia indeed. Yes, Maclean Desmond, E11 Anakumia. Okay. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. What's this one? It says happy birthday to my Ghana and Kokrokoo brother, a patriot, Ejadam from Abekusika. Okay, thank you. Prophet Bajobrim.
Well, I now say obisi fire, you know say that.
Fire say time at Dr. Baumiane Nanado Kase Jamie incompetent GM Kachom so be president dano. Omantia says you might be the president Omon say accusations never left and right, including the charge of incompetence.
Well, two issues, Kwabi. Number one, no elected leader should tell Ghanaians to say or be the position until they can criticize it. So I comment now, President Mama, it's in such bad taste to tell. Forget about Baumia, forget about Akufo-Addo. Your reporters, they are Ghanaians. Which man trauma dream? Now, so much trauma dream say we be away anyway in Korea. President Mahama should not have the right to tell them someone may be president until they can talk about him. It's wrong. It's shameful. So I comment now, President Mahama. Number two, the incompetence now here come. It was confirmed by Ghanaians in the 2016 elections. And I come Meboa.
Well,
catch a fire.
Prof, coming.
One memoir, Nana Kumia baby, I didn't be fan then.
No, before the name ho apostle.
Ampa.
It is a monam also now. Yes, Shania, as a mutumi yet a ball mine.
But yeah, no can be BTI Yankasa
The 10 years a comment, a mom to Dameno. Oh, Ujna, who ye power.
Yep.
As I do two or so now Pia. Now, Oboza two broken.
The any broken.
Broken is that one who said Ababone, when can say, Tunisia, over to me a channel. When Nicola Masso said, what Tunisia over to me a channel. Navi or Tono Bassa. Now, sir, so. But Ujna, who dear, when Nikum ye. Sometimes the politics I abba.
From afar, the picture is different.
So, and down now, so I said, uncle. And I said, Ujina train, now now to be a uncle for Totomano, Toa, whom ye. And tea, Yana, Sana, Mimi, whom. I'm not coming. But can I have that said? Say, Odo 10 to Tomotia, now I'm petting him be out. Was I near the Albawariacham? It's a year now, so now when more horn went to me and yes, say, money a day of mine, my shamansa. It is just saying there's some year, and my Obia knew what you say, COVID, I buy a best sell Mexicasm. Susrebia a chinye beer, Oka may be so crampa, a dew on my chain. Obianso jitum say, a beya bomodin or COVID. I mean, Bepim ne, Nipa a woo, Enru, and Pimbino. Nipa de Baku cry free moya. So, Ocean Modian Yabo, a bina bo, Indra, a cry, and Nina, a day warning one. A Yara, me Nasabia Meshe, says I'm say, or more active cases in Roha. A tiaba from pa. I can say, Nina, Adia Senka, Nano ne Baya, Send Ananka economy a war 2019, and Kaibianke acquire him a sea. And tea, a yes, sir, a Bayankasa, Adia Tum say, almost a near memoir ding. And dear say, and society be a bum. I come in, Jumam to say, oh, tre article. ɛtɔ bi a na onim jena no ti no atwra but ba ko bi kɔ na 11,000 words 11,000 words no so article no content no ye pa ba omo quota ye 7,000 words
what trouble so
it is a better dia me revise na emra 7,000 kwame ne den che say wo twerɛ paper foforo oh yes say uyi bia free mu say the asem no so ebetra ho enti ebia the man who came and stole my father's TV is dead. The thief is dead.
Yeah.
That was save West Bibri. The whole na ye dre say abana hu say niama dun sia bia or this scene and this so say or ye your friend flagship programs so e say e kwan ebam na omo ehwem yiye biewa e be say na ye free 11,000 eba 7,000. Na oman kasa transie hu say ebi wo ho a omo ha o mani do what free SHS ye pa kwame e ba no me tran ka say se bia me person na wo ho anka ka bia nye training college na me call here ka be call secondary school am yes be but ya dam for bi me no adam for bi ya boa is way
Sam your boy
yes Abrantia no scholarship scheme bi ode man kofo a omuni bie the oyen say nipa don unya o papa ne pay slip so obi a ana bosombe a physical onya say a trouble bi a on qualify that just onye hia ne say amount scholarship
Debbie
but can na have say MP ba e ko free SHS how chief judge so oba chief justice or oba ne ba ko free SHS professor maybe ba be ko free SHS CEO enti mumu CEO Dr. Osei Kwame despite say ne ba e wo SHS a or ko free how e dey wi ase ni we are say be pa na to say
until you creating more inequality cry
yes enti obi wo ha utimu se ye gyan no a ne ba no onko secondary school safo no ho no
ba be dey hu
kwabe e kwan ba kwa de be hu ba omo do ba copy preparatory schools no enne the friend international schools no onim se no anam ne Virginia worker bi ekasa ne ba de otua ho no esne nkora no a students na omo university no omo sika omo tua
hey
oh yes that's it ebinum tua 4,000 ne ade university nusa eti oba me kura se a omo mko public schools you know omo betumi qualify for free SHS krum hankran ha nipa bebra bibinti omo ntumi mfo mba en copy preparatory school no omo betumi qualify and they ho be one of the basic year ke be shase free ho na fe ye koye no granted ya mo obi akọ free SHS sa atare ka ho
bibia
empabo aka ho
bibia
examination fee ka ho
yeah
pass questions and so ka ho Pasco just amo de ye wo twi word be your friend adoye traso yes oh ya doye de nanso adoye no etraso e te say yen ye fie num ne ade say hoho ba eno ko ne aduane e yema no de mumu di da no mo tra hoko so we de nya hoho di empopo no na hoho no bedi na o te onko na ayi modeka eno adoye traso e bi na ye no free SHS yes the concept perfect ebema omo anko munya kwan kodo munya na jam kwan na usame ho eti ya ma bro so nti say ye e ba say ye pese ye hwa ya ne deputy minister of education no Dr. Reverend the Asin MP
in team
for draw. Yana na net ya na o defend past questions no. Can millions be a dia koshem
38 million.
38 million past questions. Yeah, near to a past questions. Unicorn House. Come only more. And hello FM na hwe anymore. Kumase. Okwa na wa udu trap empem. It is a abana anhwe na wanyi ado etraso no bi free hwa. Yeska dodo na abekwa akɔhye free SHS. Enti baby aya
Okobisa ban panyinfo a teaching education minister me kai se me no ote baby na community a unse ya du twum de friend obeba eti me de pim no so de apem me plan be say okay why man in film na ono so akirikiri mu se ade ni bi wo ho a wanya ne say nyeye am say na am the example so be teach legon Nebako Ebia Association School. Now I been Corporate College and Achimota School and now Wesley Girls. Also free SHS. I know I'm saying a bad day yim because we mono one sha only be in our bahano.
Yeah, say be a bit me a year do a be a year 100%.
But you do
Benyankophobia. Genuinely nukre muni omo akra no se omo di nukra manyame a ko omo akra be mo so se munyi emfrim na Ghana ha du fru pe wa ha
opani amanfo
du fru pe wa ha on eti ya how do na ye nukre di a ye ni
e ka won ti na bi mu ntimi ye free SHS nsa
na akoma o kan bibia no so ye kan awreshemu se nipa nya awreshemu ma ban no the word I reshemu vire yakomen na o de ko hye nipa foforo dim na akoma ete a wawu sabe onan betumi ba ko betumi etwa o betranse didi o sa betumi ba ko betumi etwa bedidi sabe wani ba ko bia na ehuna dia o betranse di ba mu no bia na koma ba yate na wakosan lai kotoyo kogari ensi ti say unya de wakoma kohye obi mu a eche say odo nkwa ani bibia na akohye no sai reshemu na yenya maban no e fansu fri aban akasesam ni dwan no doso dodo na akasesam ena dwe ena unim minti eto yasa na nipa kron na oman sika na nyina de ye aduma no edu sana na da oni gidi wo mu
but opportunity bibia menua Samson Kwame Nyameche Hello FM dia ba o say well to do omo obi omo ma say omo so nya free SHS ni bia ye esan say obehe no ono obi no eto a onu tua ema oman no say ne ba so nya free SHS ni bia nye
agabe o to pimbo osra taso ana onye hu
hey Samson prophecy to pinball strata so unyehu
free enti ano enti kwame say you to me asakra mu a esan say so education ma ya 5 year mfie num bi o ha ya de eye review syllabus no ni ade mfie num bia say hu say course we you are near the course bi a hye so mfie num ni nyina ye nkyere da ohun say sa course ye yi free mu a en say hwe na ye hu say say na ewiase koi mo memfa course we enka ho ebeboa me ye language satam na ye need language and politics
na
ni language and business na nka ho na ni sign language ye koy anim na ye hu say sa course so we no etwe adwa but geography na geography department Nyamifan currency, Professor Benne, and all the geography and resource development, Ebeka ho. And society bemwa, and to me the Jabiba. And the Brasso say, free SHS, yasa combio, na ye share near me beer, a boy a cadodoa ye no free wa, and sermon.
But the babies I say savings, ABS savings are here near bay. Say savings in young way be a yanasa.
I mean, Tiana bottle.
Okay.
Tiaha. wa fa akra we yi akakra said the na me de example no so we say the volume of a paper a table form a to be a utwa also o search also obetumi anya also a wallpaper no e be say be 20 be anya hwe utwa so a yi bi from abo say atiaba form and I mean hwe and the woman na ba bia and one me fa comment to ho o tietie no kakra bi wani beba so na aba form
not where savings kakra
na where savings kakra nti o ye savings wa ha na wo ya ha no o keka ni nyina bomu a esika mu a iti ye betumi aye no se we akora ba ko bia o na hwe nkora dodo a wo ho nyina se ka se ye nyi pass question ko amfiri mu a bon sky baba
pass questions ya ruchum ne onya adwen me bo pass question so no to me reason why I say pass questions leba
me ankasa me MP no no
yes one me if you MP bosom
MP no
and you know onya adwen
but come bibia no a wo ya wadwen be say obia no onya adwen dabi Yesu Kristo kra onema na oye ndi ho na ono anasuafo no bi ejise ndi se sa na eti eno no de say hwe no
me ba answer obeto aso no me so your notes Kumasi Mayor Sampine. I now understand why the former president said, that's former President Mahama said, Ghanaians have short memories. We have had a very stable electricity for more than 4 years. Fuel prices, dollar CD rate were quite stable until a few months ago. And we make it look like the situation has been so bad since President Akufo-Addo took power. If this situation is making some people refer to the president as incompetent, then there's no competence in this world, considering what all countries are going through. Greetings to Nana Kumia, Professor Jekum, and the Kokrokoo crew. Sampine, Kokrokoo crew say me misa say ne krakra ne saying. Wa onkrofa. Abdul Malik Kwekubako. Education is a right, not a privilege. Free SHS must be available for all Ghanaian citizens. No need for any discrimination. In any case, who says the budgetary outlay on free SHS is at the core of our current economic woes? Why make free SHS a scapegoat? What is the cost of the perennial waste and corruption in the system compared to the cost of free SHS? Methinks free SHS can and must remain untouchable. Abdul Malik Kwekubako can and must remain untouchable. And then somebody says, please use Okwapman School and stop promoting Achimota School. Oh, MB, I hear you. Say Achimota School, the standard bearer. Kwame, the main thing to pay for should be just the boarding and lodging, as that's a huge cost for government to continue bearing. Joby, and I'm Konya Manu. Mesinka, the Obabako boarding a tria. Utria na efeni akano. Na abana ashamao. Kwame, to quote you, dishonesty and hypocrisy will not allow us to screen the payables and the unpayables. You remember the CMB scholarship? Some rich families' children were enjoying it. Phillips in Takradi. Chairman General, let's not forget that apart from the difficulty in truly identifying the real needy people, our tax system is progressive, and so the higher you earn, the more you pay. So for me, if the rich person's children also benefit, is in order. Again, the danger is that when we isolate the rich to pay, they will ensure that their awards will always be in the first-class schools, and that would affect the poor children accessing the first-class schools. Applause. Interesting. The quote from Samson Yamiche DNB and Orkanum. Obisi Mibisa, Professor Jukum said, do you think churches should be taxed? Chief Bani Atubiyama Nana Kumia. Nana Kumia, it was Dr. Baumia who championed the 2016 incompetent agenda. Today, he's not commenting on the economy. When the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Okay, maybe Prof. Pachoto also.
Come Afe yambra before baby say onum hina kromo a onum fom.
Onum fom.
Eti eto no de kwan bia say etremu.
Baby, catch your chief body say no.
Chief, Nana Kumia can just say no, no, Jebu Finoku. On fan come, boss, and fan counts a jing.
Okay. And yes, yetimi treto no. Eti ye 11 yes. I come here, maybe I can say, ye share adwa asia. Ye bo abofo mo ne amahunu.
King.
Ye share sia boko za king. Na fe agro nan kasa pagya no.
Na e boom.
Ne yan share ken eno ye hunu. eti ka eto a ebi maada no ye hyase no
near bon boko
nkofo abehunu nia eko afi ye mamu ye maso kakra enye den kai se owura haruna kra mu ho no ye hyase no ono ekotu ayi bi 1%
ye bon ye ma no ye kom
na maza na usum da ho ne ye boy ye mu a oba mi ambo bi o eti bianke
wana bon ye
ono an nkofo muntaka ne fiase the first muntaka mubarak o bonian bako aswanse
yes
o bonian bako no yeko
enti bianke ye hyase ho a bako ka ye dru ba bi a omo pese de eko akwame enwanwa se o pese odi e-levy eba na utwa tomu na e-levy na nya ma e na atwa tomu
Peace FM.
Apenyi boso
Peace FM.
Anyanwa
na commercial vision 2020
o da bi na nka eba
nanka
o na makase ye kokwa na nsede no bi no
say e kopal na kopasia
kokwa na nsede na adab na me kana o se on kra de okopa bosia
the hindsight
okopa bosia na onya bosia
hindsight you can say
kompo o se okopa bosia na
okopa bosia na onya bosia no bia momodo koko ni ade no ondo onde wate sesrem besen ne boarding pa nti momonyam koko obedua besen na se besen no enyini na otia on ton asante member bia ode be ko srem na srem zo kwa just okoton besen age takua na asempoa opa obi a ode besen no besesa ponko afri no ho aso onya ponko no na ode no ba se na obesia sie ponko no obem na duane na se ponko no nyame boa na ogu se pe ene ponko bande unsin from kra ana ne bante kuma so papa nka metra ponko ba no so wa twen ba so me ponko ba so abone ba na mo yewu besen no kro yanko pe
no dia ko dua besen
ana besen so nyasa odua nya bro ana beans na odua ya ana na edina sana aso amam besen bia se mfie nu mfie nan ansa na wo de akosirim wa bo ne ba na wo yewu ebi na mo ye no to no mo se munya e-levy na mo besesa no busumi duba akuma asem ne ye kan ye o and as say o busumi
say hindsight ne kan say
o kompo and na ye o da dia kwame offer consultancy fee
we have a hindsight we say dey kopasi about here na companies
me kwai ya me fa hene ma mienu bia na ba akwa akote enti se empepre ho amodi ko twa mu prekope aya ne kwa menum gina he me hu de enti obi kura saloon car watofu wagum no duru 50 pesos Benz V8 no what V8 need to as a 2 cedis 1 cedi it is obi to me tough fuel e be a 500 600 1000 book em no do to na you 1 cedi at all abosume nani bokina fuwe do mo trailer kese nyina fire kwan so atwam tamale abetwam kumase kubase atwam ho ne watwam ano omko 11 so na anwenwen ne sin
bam
na musuo ba kon e ba ne mo 2020 aba mokoto ye mpipi ayantam kese mam tizamo on tambia me kan pipi ka 2020 Kwame yes nyina ne fare bai ba kono no adna babe me ka we ya me kan bi
me kwa ma pon pan me da se
MPP omumusio ba kon e wo ho sesi a edi omunya e ya anokwadworo yes
eno ye den
so kwa me ni makwadworo
laziness
na ano
mouth
ndi ano e se koya dwuma na watia da wagigi adam
FM
Niama ma ye bebre asenka mo hwe amo omanfo ahu say na ya nka bebo amo
na comment me hwe nim biom
en na so wa hwe mani mo nya
we yi nani
ana anokwadro eku wo mo anokwadro ena eku wo mo
but prof matisa anokwadro no didi jabi ni edi munam na aba o e kanu na anokwadro na ba
na nti wo mo ye wan
you see
come say o mo kai say e ka amfofo nko a kan ni say aginantwi abobiri
open we dey so chire me say yanko
amfofo ye plant bi no so yellowish the flower na efe pa ni nua bi e friend na aginantwi ono so black di ni me no esi ho a come akora a okoti nhwere mu de na obete
abefa ne ayefofo no
ni ayo mfofo no enti e kan mfofo no banya nka da bia ginantwi no onsesa every black no ma yellow na nkwada apemasem
yes
ni enya no ti krofo na mo no mu di agro no mo no mu si akan no e ka o mu ko anka da bia nka mo nema a mo ye bia mpie da nkofo hu se mo ababa mu mfie num ni mo nye hu te ba mo anso mo timi hu se mo nema ma ye nyam na mabobodi ama mo
David
ena no kwadwo akumu se to edi se edidija na aba eni muna na enam a nkofo amadidi agya wo mo san komochi na mo hu se san krofo e na o mo boaye na o mo man nkofo hunu de yeye that is am betra ha ena kwame obi a maba ba mu a afe baako ene bosome miensani the second time almost to 2024 aba mapon
Nana kumi amida si
baba ba mu afi bosome miensa mo 2024 ena mo kon monkwen anokwadro ne ntokwa hunu ena de mbeko ba bia mo mpesa mo beko
Professor Jacob has said it all, MPP. Kwame M. Mate. Hey, Nana Kumia Mimpong.
Kwame Dasi.
That's Nakovia. Prof Dasi. Peace 104.3.